Until I looked at myself in the mirror one day and I was disgusted with what I saw. So I said, you gotta make a change, man.
It's all about fun, laugh, and get through life. That's what it's all
I find you have everything to gain with Christ, and without him, everything to lose.
Hi, welcome to the show today. Our special guest today is Miss Ketriana Yvvone, author of Sequin Soul, and also the host and producer of the Ketriana Yvvone Show. But before we talk to her about her book, are y'all ready for some hot topics?
Yes, I am.
Well, let me tell you about this open marriage thing that I see. There was this couple on the television, right? Husband and wife. Mm-hmm. She had her boyfriend on her side, and he had his girlfriend on his side. So they have what they call the open marriage, so they can talk to different people who they want to talk to. Now, what do you think about this?
I don't see the point of getting married. Just date a lot of people. If you're going to be married, for me, marriage is a constitution or a commitment between two people. So you make the decision before God and your family and your friends to, be attached to this one person. This is who I'm going to see. This is who I'm going to continuously date. This is who I'm going to make love to. I don't understand having the wagon riders. I just think you could just be single.
But the thing about it is, when I was sitting there, I'm saying to myself, wait, hold up. Now, usually when you're married and you find out the husband is seeing someone else, they call them cheating, vice versa, or whatever. Right. So now you get all upset because they're cheating, but then you can allow this third person in and I was just so choked up when I was looking at it because I'm like, how can you be sleeping with him, the boyfriend, and then sleeping with the husband, vice versa with the husband, but then y'all sleeping with each other too? Like, what kind of nonsense is this? I don't get it.
You want me to tell you?
Yes. Please jump in. And
it's consensual nonsense. So, and that's the difference. So, two people, actually, I think it makes it makes sense. Because that's an agreement between the four people and they all know about it.
Right.
Versus two people being married and supposedly committed and cheating. So it's actually more honorable to me.
Yeah, but
then why get married?
But that's what they chose to do.
Yeah, but marriage is supposed to be sacred.
Well,
and this is not sacred. That's not how the Bible speaks of marriage.
Like a free fall.
So because the Bible doesn't speak of marriage that way. Right. I'm saying what I noticed today is people come up with their own terms of marriage and how they want to be in a relationship like that. So Allison was saying, okay, so why don't you just stay single, and that way you can lay up and date with whoever you want, and then you don't have to feel like you were doing something outside of what you're supposed to be doing. My thing is I'm not going to be married and sharing you with someone else, okay? If I do share you with someone else, as long as I don't know about it, I don't care. But if I know about how can I be sitting there with holding look, she's holding the boyfriend's hand, the other hand is holding the husband, then he's holding the girlfriend on the other side. Like, what is going on here?
But that's the difference. They obviously all agree to that, and you would not agree to that, so you wouldn't have to worry about it. So you're upset because of somebody else's choices, but it's not you.
I don't think
and
if
you go and look, if you and I'm not all in agreement. But I'm just saying. And if you look in the Bible, you say in the Bible, in Muslim religion you have 7 wives.
Right, but that's
in the
Muslim
Bible.
Religion.
The husband dies, the brother marries the wife.
No, I don't know.
That's why
I'm sorry. I ain't sharing, and because I don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? My thing is,
hey, more power to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. If that's what they want to do,
free fall,
but don't say that that's something that is okay for people to do. Like like you said, people do what they want to do. So that's
Right.
So that's how it is. This is something I want
to do.
Right.
And
But
they were all in agreement.
exactly.
Right.
But then she had a husband. The husband, girlfriend is married to another guy. She has a husband. And so he's sitting there in the audience looking, like, like, well, what is going on here? So the other boyfriend, her boyfriend was single, and he wanted to marry her. He wants to marry her. So, but he can't marry her because she already married. But he'll stay in the relationship just to date her and stuff because he said he's in love with her and stuff. So, I mean, it's just like, some of this stuff is like sometimes gets to really be sick.
Do they have like sex at home? Like,
yes, the husband and wife have sex at home.
Some of them
I mean, but like, does a boyfriend come over and have sex? Because I would be trifling. I'd try to one up the other person. Like,
well, I got the impression that maybe they do because if they're this open about it, they probably do come over.
listen, people have emotions, and listen, I just feel like it no one can't feel out of place. I feel like that leaves it open for someone to feel either unappreciated or, oh, she does this for him more, or, oh, when she has sex with him, she's more vocal with him, but she's not as vocal with me. You have to be so confident in yourself to enter a situation like this, because it's easy for somebody to feel a kind of way. It's easy. It's easy because Tammy may not be affectionate with Josh all the time, but with Steve, because Steve's that kind of person, it brings that out of her. But and then Josh is like, I don't get hugs in the morning. You don't bring me eggs.
Well, look.
Why you bringing Steve eggs?
Okay, each to their own.
I just hate.
Each to their own.
That's a
you
lot.
want open marriage, you have open marriage. We are not judging, but
Right.
we are judging. We're not judging. If you
I just
open
want
marriage
somebody
and
to
stuff.
explain it
But-
to me, the dynamics, like how does everybody feel whole? Like, how do they feel loved? How do they feel appreciated? How do they feel satisfied? Like, I honestly want to know that.
Well, I guess
Watch
we have to
YouTube.
find somebody in an open marriage.
I'm gonna
and
have
then
to.
ask them
I'm gonna have
Polyamorous, I
to
think they
about
call
it.
it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check
But
that out and take a lot of vitamins, because that's a lot of sex.
But okay, let's get into the next topic I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about Meghan and Harry. How do you feel about that situation, them leaving the royals like that to try to go out on their own?
I admire them. I mean, actually, I listened to an interview the other day that was from about two years ago.
Okay.
And it was almost like what's happening now, but he was just speaking on how he sees the same situation happening, that happened with his mother. And as the husband, he wants to provide and protect. And he's not going to let the paparazzi and the whole system ruin his wife.
But
But that was 2 years ago.
Right, but even though they moved to Canada, they are still having problems with the paparazzi. They can't go anywhere about those people following. Even if they come to the United States, they will be running over each other out there on the street to get those pictures and things. You are not going anywhere and
I
get
think
away
it's
from
commendable
that
that they want to live just a regular, normal life.
Yeah.
However-
she was stressed.
Right. But I think the reality of the situation is they're not going to get to live they're not regular, normal people.
They're not.
Even if they say,
don't care
hey,
where they
I
move
don't
to."
want anything to do with this at all. Prince Harry has had a very public life.
Yes.
His mother
that's
was
not going
one of
away.
the most beloved
Yes.
of the family. It's going to be hard for people like, all right, nope, we're just going to leave him alone. No. It's going to take a while, even if they don't go through the same day to day, but it's
But
going
do
to
you
take a
okay?
while.
We was talking about this when me and one of my friends was talking. Do you think that he wanted to leave the royal family way before he met Meghan, and she was just a way out now to get out? Because he didn't always like.
He was always a party youth.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't
party boy.
want to fit in with what they was doing
Yeah.
anyway. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, was this his way out? Because I don't think he really wanted to do all of that royal stuff anyway.
Right. He was never.
No.
He was never one to.
So this is a way out or whatever.
Or at least, hey, look.
Yeah.
I don't really want to be bothered.
don't know if it's a way out, but I think it's...
Well,
he was never
not
really
so much of a way
involved,
out,
right.
but
He
I
was
mean, and
involved.
another thing too with
Harry?
her,
He was
with
too
what?
busy partying.
I think they were, I mean, he was involved.
His brother.
Involved?
William.
What you mean?
With all of the royal stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
his brother
he
William
was involved.
He was there, but he was
involved.
not. But he was.
Yeah, he was involved. Yeah,
I mean, now.
because
Because
you know what I said before. I said I felt like maybe she should have waited about 2-3 years before they got married, and to kind of get an idea of what is expected of her and stuff like that, rather than just taking a year walking into it and now you didn't have the baby within a year's time. That's a lot for 1 year.
Listen,
And
That's a lot.
That's how it was.
she
for
got the
Diana.
coveted Prince Harry. Nobody thought he was going to settle down, let alone get married. So look, it happened within the time that I think it would happen with Harry.
All right, then. Okay. Well. Okay.
Well, I think they're
So-
a lovely couple when I was
Oh no, I
Absolutely.
love the two of them together. It's just that
Absolutely.
I just see how things when she comes along, the whole royal family just falls apart. You know what I'm saying? So something was going on. Okay, then. So good luck to you, Meghan and Harry. we love you, but
We love you.
Come to the U.S. We would love to
Listen.
have you here. You know what I'm
We
saying?
would. There's some
I
really
tell
good
you,
houses in
Exactly.
Brooklyn.
Shannon.
Come to the United States. We would love you. We can't stop the photographers, but
We could stop them in Brooklyn, baby.
you can even come and be on the show. All right.
That's what I said.
So, hey, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back with Miss Ketriana and her poetry book, Sequin Soul. So we'll be right back.
And it's not easy. I mean, people think you just write a book, but I think, I'm in marketing, and that has a lot to do with it. And
Absolutely.
even if you pay people, they, in my opinion, they can't do a better job for me.
It's Shannon.
You want to tune into a good show? You tune in to Keeping It Real with Shannon, because Shannon keep it real. That's me, the Ghost LOX D-Block, told you so. This is my sister Shannon. She got jewels, infinite.
At the time I had written this play, I was going through some emotional stuff, and I knew I needed something to do differently with my life. I sat in a corner of my bedroom and just started writing out the words. It comes alive while I'm writing it, when the characters are alive in my head, and it's a fantastic feeling when I see the characters alive on stage.
Hi, my name is Tiffany, and you're watching Keeping It Real with Shannon. Shannon can be seen every Saturday at 5:30 p.m. on Brooklyn Public Network and Manhattan Neighborhood Network at 2:30 p.m. You can check your local listings for the channels. Let's keep it real and watch the show.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon. It's Shannon.
Hi, welcome back. If you're just joining us, our guest today is Miss Ketriana Yvvone. She's a poet, and she's also host and producer of the Ketriana Yvvone show. So help us welcome her to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now look, how did you get into poetry? What made you decide, that you want to be a poet?
Actually, I don't know if I ever decided to be a poet. It just happened. And I guess the story was around the time I became a producer that I didn't plan to be that either. I was just taking advantage of all the classes. I had started a business. I was supposed to be helping women start their own business. Okay. And I took all the classes. That's how I found out about Bric at the Grand Central branch. And then there was this class called Poetry to Image, which I'll never forget that day, because it was like I had took all the classes with no resistance. Okay. And that one, it was like, why am I taking this? I'm not a poet. Oh, I'm going to be late. This whole thing. But somehow I pushed through it, and I made it. It was like a snowy day. And I met Phyllis Roker, who's also a producer here now. And we became friends. And she was she needed an image, and I was like, oh, I have a picture, and that's how we met. And then later on, we were talking one day, coming from probably the library. And so we started taking the New York Writers Coalition classes together. And then everybody was like, I would just write, you write the prompts.
So you didn't start writing until you took the class?
I only started writing like 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I probably know.
You've probably been writing ever since a child or something.
No, I probably have written like maybe 5 poems in my life. I always kept a journal.
Okay.
From a kid. So I always did write, but not poetry. Okay. I wrote a couple, but that was it. And now I probably have 1,000.
Okay. So it's more like storytelling?
Well, I have a lot of stories to tell, but I had to get the poetry out the way first.
Okay.
So I started with that.
That's the spirit that hit you first.
Yeah. Okay. So what she said to me one day, she said like, oh, you have great stories, you should write. So when she said that, it was like I listened because I knew the voice, and the voice was like what I used to say to a friend of mine who should write, but never took my advice. And usually I don't listen, but it was a strong feeling, and I said, okay. And, like I said, we started taking the class together, the workshop at New York Writers.
So how do you? So where do you get your
inspiration?
Yeah, like when you write the poem, like how do you come up with that particular poem? Is it something you are feeling, or something you have seen? Is it somebody that you've been interactive with? Like, what makes you come up with that particular poem?
Well, in most of the workshops that I've taken, is usually there's a prompt. It could be an image, it could be, which I find to be easy to write, because if you're just thinking out your head, what I feel like writing about, that's a little harder. But when you if you're in a writing group and you come in and it's like, well, this is the prompt and these are the words. So you already kind of know, and you just,
put them together.
It takes you to a place, and you just pull whatever you draw from, like the image or the words, and you write. And I find that to be easier. Most of the time, that's like a lot of these were contests that I wrote, and they had pictures to them, but they don't have the pictures in this book. And then sometimes I just write, and I might incorporate stuff so I'm spirit writer. So that's, I guess drawing stuff from my spirit. I like to write about certain things. I find, like I like to write about the rain. I like to write about the blues. Okay. And rainbows. Yes.
Yeah. The blues. Yeah, sometimes
but in a good way. In a good way. Okay. So not if I write about the blues, it's always like it's a part of my spirit. In a good way, because everything I write, it may be a difficult subject, but I try to end everything on a positive. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's why I guess the basis of this book is to I'm saying just they're ordered in A to Z, but just read one if that's what you feel like doing, or read the whole book. And when you read the one, see if it matches like your thought. Or maybe it'll give you a new insight into something that you never thought about.
Now, how did you come up with the name Sequin Soul?
Now,
that is so unusual.
Now, Sequin Soul is the metaphor for my life. Okay. So I should have brought a piece of fabric. So if you have sequin fabric, you rub it one way and it's rough, and then you just smooth it out. And that's sort of how life is. And then if you also notice with sequins, women, how you lose some of those pieces.
Yes.
But you just keep on going.
Absolutely.
Like, you lost a couple.
Keep it track.
You see them on the floor.
It's too many. They're not going to see that one.
Yeah. So you just keep it moving. And that's pretty much the metaphor for my life. Okay. So that's how I got the name. And that works for me.
Well, okay, so
I love the picture, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, the picture is
beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were saying that it's how you see your life. Mm-hmm.
Like the ups and downs, like you may lose. Okay, so I have a poem that's called Sequins and Sparkle.
Okay.
So that's about things you might go through, and you lose some of your shine, but okay, so let me read that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not going to lose your just shine.
I'm saying in life.
Shine. Yeah,
some
I know
people
what
you
saying,
can take a beating in life and just say, "Oh, I've been through this and that." Right. So this is sequence and sparkle. I am sequence and sparkle like glitter. I shine. I am elegant. I can be flashy. I stand out and light up, both just the same. I am glitter and sparkle when everything is dimly lit. A vision from the distance, that is me. I am the sparkle and glitter of life with the brightest shine. I have been tested by the tough tugs of life. Like sequence, my soul has shedded some of my shine, lost some glitter, but my shine I will still sparkle. And still my happy appears brighter, twinkling, dancing through what was once rough, still shining brightly just the same. I shine and light up spaces that are dark. I am sequence and sparkle, shining bright like the gleam in your eye. So that's sequence and sparkle.
All right, that sounds good. But you know, we always, in that poem it's saying, I think sometimes when we go through stuff, there's always a reason that we're going through
Right,
that.
absolutely.
And sometimes you'll come out being a better person than what you were when you started. Because me personally, myself, if I go through something, I'm a different person by the time I get out of what I went through. You understand? So it's like sometimes I don't worry about what I'm going through. It's what I do
while you're going
through it.
You're
going through it and what you're going to do afterwards. Because I just feel that for us to grow, something has to happen. It can't be perfect every day.
Absolutely.
It can't be.
You need pressure. You need pressure to make diamonds.
And the stress, you just have to learn how to deal with your stress and not get really stressed out. Because truthfully, you really shouldn't let people be stressing you out. You shouldn't. No, really, you shouldn't let people stress you out. Because when people get to the place that they just want to stress you out all the time, it's time to get rid of those people. That's why Bishop Jakes always say you got to clean house sometime at the beginning of the year. And you have to do that because sometimes you have to get rid of friends. You have to get rid of them because they are more of a burden to you than anything else. They're not supportive. They're very
They can be a
negative.
hindrance to your growth.
Exactly.
And theirs too.
Exactly. Even family members. You have to get rid of family members also.
Absolutely.
I have purged plenty of mine. Family and friends. You have to say, what?
It's like I wish you the best, but I just don't want to wish it in person.
Exactly.
Right. I just don't want to do it in person.
Exactly. Because sometimes people always want to keep something going all the time.
Yes.
Like every time you see them, there's a problem. Who wants to be involved talking to someone every time you see them? They can't never say, you say, "Oh, how you doing today?" Oh my God, they go through this sermon. Who wants to hear that? But do you look forward in the future to, write
because you said
more
you had
poetry
a lot of
or write another type book?
Well, I'll probably do one more, Sequin Soul 2 of stuff that's already written, because that's how I was supposed to do it. I wrote this one specifically to, I don't know if you're familiar with Hay House, but I guess my favorite person, inspirational, was Dr. Wayne Dyer. And so he wrote for Hay House. And Louise Hay, she was a woman, she passed away last year. And she started Hay House like in the 70s with this book, How to Heal Your Life, which people kind of laughed at her like, she printed 5,000, she sold them. And over a period of time, but she started Hay House then. So that might just be my path to become a publisher and continue on my journey and helping other people publish. Because, you learn a lot. And it's not easy. I mean, people think you just write a book, but I think, I'm in marketing, and that has a lot to do with it. And even if you pay people, they, in my opinion, they can't do a better job for me than I can.
As far as publishing the book and
or just speaking on behalf of the book. You know it.
And I don't think that you should start. I mean, I think the marketing should have started a whole, before the book is actually out. But that's not how it's done. So, it's a learning experience, and I'm enjoying it.
So how does that work then when you want to publish a book? Say like you published this book here. Did you do marketing first, or you did the book and now you're marketing? Or so if you decide you want to go into publishing or help other people publish their book, how does that work? I mean, what direction do you go? Like helping that person get their book published?
Well, it depends. Like some people have no idea. They just maybe I know people that have books, or they've written something, they didn't finish it. Or they might have, I've been like I said, I was a new writer. So I was in workshops with people and they may have had 8 books.
Yeah, like if I wanted to write a book, right? So I write the book. So what do I do after I write the book? Do I have to go
find a publisher?
Well, if you're writing a novel and you want to go have an agent and they pick you up and they will do the promotion for you. And that's, if you want to do that and you can get picked up, that would be wonderful.
So self-publishing.
But if you can't, and poetry is a little different because there's so many of them. So it's not as easy as if you're writing a novel. So that's why I went with this Balboa Press, because it's a subdivision, because even Hay House, they make you go through Balboa Press.
But that's good though. That's good that you
now see,
is this your first book? Is this the first one?
This is my first
okay,
book.
Good. Okay, good.
I guess you could say I did one, they have the 50 and 50 movement with Billie Holiday.
Right.
I was selected, not last year, the year before, and they do a performance. So, Pauline...
we are so happy that you have written this book. We're running out of time. But we are happy that you have written your first book and that, you get it out there to let people know. Sequin Soul. Make sure how can they get the book?
It's available you go to Amazon like you do for all the other stuff. And go to Amazon Books.
Amazon's
just type in Sequin Soul or my name, Ketriana Yvvone, and it'll pop up. It's also on eBay. It's on BalboaPress.com.
Okay, tell us right quick when your show comes on.
My show comes on the first Monday and Wednesday of every month on Channel 2. Check Brooklyn Free Speech for, whatever, if you have Fios or Spectrum. And then I also do the HD channel. So that's monthly. Okay. So I'm usually on.
Okay, you heard it.
Just have to flip
Miss
those
Diva, Sequin Soul. Yes. And make sure you watch her television show. She's very hot on this show, So just
trying to be like
check
Shannon.
The local listing at Bricks, and you will see her show, Ketriana Yvvone show. Very good show that she has. And get the book. So thank you.
Thank you.
Coming
it's been
and
a
talking
pleasure.
to us today. And
I made it to the
yes,
Keeping It
finally!
Real with Shannon show.
So as always, thank you, Allison.
Thank you for having me.
And also, as we thank my crew for today. Thank everybody for coming today.
Thank you.
And as always, we'll see you next time.
Today's show is sponsored by Abu's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Abu's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies.